Yeah. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you've got. Here, it's the time for Views on the News.
Oh, we want to break free.
Clergy in Russia was the Pope appealing for peace, or was he praying for peace?
And the same applies to the carry-on drag.
Yeah, that's a good question. So what do you have to say about that, guys?
And this week's sterling panel member from British Columbia is Dread Pirate Higgs. How the
Arr, howdy.
Yeah, you look as though you're in fine fettle from here. Well done. Great. Okay, so pushing on the news. Mainstream media has been telling us a lot about diversity, peaceful coexistence, multiculturalism, But what we actually have is extremists calling for the destruction of the West. Take a look at this.
Jihad is part of our religion. It's a concept in our religion, so I'm not going to be apologetic.
Jihad for the sake of Allah. You accept Islam, you pay jizya, it's war.
The solution, very simple. Jihad fi sabilillah. We don't fear anyone but Allah. We don't fear the United Nations, British government. We don't give a damn. We only fear Allah. Jihad fi sabilillah.
And the disbelievers that may surround that community, the Quran has legislated something known as al-jihad, which we would refer to more specifically al-jihad al-qitali, the armed struggle or armed warfare against those elements.
What do you think the future is, though, for jihad? Because...
Well, I just said, that the Prophet, I believe he said in the hadith that al-jihad madin ila yawm al-qiyamah, it's continuous until the day of judgment.
Islam is seeking to have a ministry of defense, and the ministry of defense is carrying out the jihad activities. This is natural, and this should be accepted as it is accepted in any other law.
David, welcome.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Yeah. You just missed.
Put on my glasses so I can hear you all better.
Ah, okay. Yep, good. You just missed a rather alarming video.
Holy.
Yeah.
And I mean the pun.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, this is about what appears to be the takeover by extreme Islamists of the UK, unashamedly. Should I be worried, Dredd, do you think?
Yeah, be very scared. Be very afraid.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've let them into the country. They've brought their fundamentalist religion, and now they think they're the bosses. I am scared.
Dangerous.
Well, they're calling for jihad. They're saying jihad is a part of Islam, so get used to it.
Yeah. They're not even being, secretive about it.
Right.
They're coming out straight up, saying we don't respect the UK government. We only respect Allah. And he wants us to rule in Sharia form. And this is a video which has got clips from 2 or 3 actual live events.
Yeah, I missed a clip, but I've seen this before, and the idea of these religious groups being so emboldened just means that you can expect more violence down the road, because even if most of the people listening to this will just in one ear and out the other, there are enough people radical enough evangelical enough to want to harm others in the name of their religious faith. So, this is a cancer for any other way of looking at it.
Agreed, totally.
And it's a cancer of the mind, isn't it? There's no real basis to it.
Yeah. You know what I call it? It's a virus.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
Mind virus, virus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like a meme, but
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, I've got a mind virus in front of me right now. I don't know whether you can you see? This has just jumped onto my desk.
You know what? We have to start something like, cats for radical religious people. I think because how could you hate when you got a tail hitting you in the face,
Yeah, maybe we should. I think perhaps even dogs, because dogs are more of a team player, aren't they?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm sorry you missed that threats of violent video, David, but you'll be able to see it on the playback. So, unfortunately, this is not the first video that I've got to show you, but the next one features Hamas leader Fatih Hamad. Features himself, and it's a bit of a shot in the foot because he thinks that he's promoting his Hamas cause, but listen to this.
الحمد لله أصولنا كلنا عربية ويستطيع كل فلسطيني في غزة وفي كل فلسطين أن يأتي بجذوره العربية سواء كانت من السعودية أو من اليمن أو من أي نفط، ولذلك قد تربطنا قرابات، ولذلك أين المودة، أين الرحمة؟ أنا شخصيا نص عائلتي مصرية كلنا، ويمكن بيجي حوالي أكثر من 30 عائلة اسمها المصري. في أساسنا نص فلسطين يا أخواننا مصري ونص سعودي. ايش من هم الفلسطينيون؟ في عندنا في اسماء كثيره اسمها المصري وجذورهم مصريه قد يكونوا من الاسكندريه، من القاهره، من دمياط، من الوجه البحري، من اسوان، من الصعيد. نحن مصريون، نحن عرب، نحن مسلمون، نحن منكم. الله اكبر، الله اكبر والله الحمد، الله اكبر، الحمد لله.
So all these people who are in our cities marching for pro-Palestine cause, even the leader of Hamas is admitting that there is no Palestine.
Yeah.
They're all Arabs. And the idea of Palestine is a fake.
Wow. Well, I think you're going to see Trump Las Vegas in Palestine any day now.
Have you guys seen that video? Have you seen the video, the Trump video there that he posted?
No.
It's about a minute and a half long with the new Trump resort in Gaza.
No.
Oh, you got to watch it, man. Like it's heavy duty. He's got AI to put this thing together. It's like a minute and a half long. And seriously, it is messed up. There is something seriously wrong in that guy's head.
Oh,
that this,
give us a link. I want a link.
But it's another to put it out there. You know what I mean? It's wow. It's just you go. I can't believe it. Wow.
Yeah.
I want a link. Give us a link, Dred.
Yeah, for sure.
He's been lowering our common humanity since the 1970s.
Yeah. He's such a bully. I mean, did you see how he treated? Zelensky. Yeah. Volodymyr Zelensky. It's so crude and so non-empathic.
It's just embarrassing as someone who has visited Ukraine and who is an American to see this this setup Zelensky in the White House. As I wrote, I only saw one president embarrass himself and his country that day, and it wasn't the president who was heading back to Kiev to fight Russian aggression.
No, indeed. Yeah. Oh dear.
Okay,
But
let me put this in chat.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. I think maybe some of your countrymen, David, might be regretting their vote.
Maybe, but it's not because of Trump's obvious favoring of Russia. If any of the people who voted for Trump are regretting or having buyer's remorse, it's because of what he's allowed Elon Musk to do with this thing called Dodge, and fire people and just discriminate, because most of the ideology of MAGA is get the other people. Except the other people then eventually turn into the people you love. And by that time, you've lost them.
Well, somebody.
Once they started feeling that they were the ones also swept into this whole mess,
right?
That's when they're outraged. That's what it took to get them pissed.
Yeah.
Geez, they're going after me too. Oh well,
right.
I guess I better do something.
Yeah, exactly. It's because and I don't want to broad brushstrokes here, but the billionaire class sees no difference between brown-skinned immigrants or migrants and people who make less than $75,000 a year.
It's just
or 100,000
and money, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was somebody.
I did put the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll add it to the show in a minute. Thanks, Dred. Yeah. There was somebody who likened Trump's attitude towards Zelensky as that of a Chicago gangster.
Yeah, he's a mob boss.
Nice country you've got here. Be a shame if something happened to it.
Yeah. Kiss the ring.
Right.
Yeah. So let me see if I can present this this video here.
Let's make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah, I might have to download.
It's gonna cost a lot of horses.
Yeah, that's a lot of horses. It's a lot of horsepower.
I'm not sure how to do this at the moment. I'm trying to get this up on screen.
It's called Trump Gaza.
Yeah. I've got it. It's just that I'm not sure how to incorporate it into the show. Give me a minute or two.
Too bad, because it would be quite a chuckle.
Yeah.
I just started watching it. That's sickening and hilarious at the same time.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it is an AI generated thing. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can put it up as a screen share. I'm not sure whether. Okay, select window. Yeah. Let's try that. No, it says it can't access it. Damn. So what I'll have to do is link it into the details underneath. What a shame. It's so good. Anyway, going back to the news. I'm not sure how successful this will be, because it's sort of ironic, and Americans, pardon David, you're an exception, are famously supposed to be unable to appreciate irony. So let me show you this video, and you can tell me how you respond. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Salam alaikum, brothers and sisters. I can no longer be silent on the genocide that's happening in Gaza. See, these indigenous Palestinians had their land stolen from them from evil white colonizers, and colonization needs to be resisted in all forms, including violence. Unlike against me, who is indigenous to New York, and I'm not white, I have a slight tan, I'm Italian actually. So when these evil people came from Europe, again, not like me, I have a tan, they did horrific things to the innocent Palestinian people, so of course we should blame America for terrorism. I hate America despite my trust fund and the fact that I'm attending an Ivy League college that costs $60,000 a year. So when you look at what these poor people are going through, obviously they're going to rape women and kill children because that's justifiable resistance. But of course I'm a feminist and was part of the Me Too movement and the Believe All Women movement, but my feminism does not extend to Israeli women because why would I believe a Jew? I mean, why would I believe a Zionist? It's really horrific to see, and my heart breaks for those poor babies. I mean, I just can't live with this. I don't know how I'm going to go on with my life when something all the way across the world is happening that I don't even understand, but how else am I going to get my social justice warrior points?
I love it. Oh,
How else am I going to get my social justice award points?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. There's so much in that. It's been reversed, hasn't it? And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It
Well, and
bears
it's good it's
watching.
coming from a young person.
That's very
indeed.
funny.
It bears watching 2 or 3 times because you don't appreciate it fully on the first hearing.
Yeah.
Well, the sad reality is that those on the left and the anarchists, I like to say, who voted for Trump or voted third party or voted or chose not to vote in the name of their protest against Joe Biden, that was really short-sighted because it allowed this insane person come in to not only, Trump casinos in Gaza, but the reality is he stopped USAID, which was $40 million a year at least in support of people who are
desperate.
Exactly. So the idea of, I'm going to wear a scarf in the name of my Palestinian brethren and not vote for Joe Biden, well, I'll show them. And of course, the reality is now these people are even more desperate than before.
Yeah. For sure. And of course, other actors are now have an opening to come in and be the heroes by filling the space that the United States has now vacated with ideologies that are in direct conflict with democratic.
It's opened the door to China and Russia, hasn't
it? Absolutely. Yeah. America first does not mean America only.
Right.
But that's the way this guy thinks. And all the monsters that he has around him in his cabinet.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So you might be relieved.
Wait, there's a knock on my door. I think it's the NSA.
You might be relieved to hear, though, that we have our problems in the UK. Yeah. So there was an 18-year-old boy named of Nicholas Prosper who on the 13th of September last year shot his mother, brother, and sister, and was planning to commit a mass shooting at his old primary school when the police officers stopped him and apprehended him, is the word. They found a shotgun loaded and with more than 30 cartridges in a bush, and each of his victims had gunshot wounds to the head. Sorry about the tail in the screen here. And and it's been discovered that he was a frequent user. Listen, I'm sure BBC newsreaders don't have to put up with this. Anyway, he's a frequent user of videos featuring people's final moments, and has an interest in mass shootings, including the 1999 Columbine High School massacre. Now, he was banned from that website after making comments of a pro-pedophile nature, and he even admitted to having watched a notorious child sexual abuse video. But even more disturbing, if it's possible to be more disturbing than that, he's had a growing obsession with a child character called Clementine from the Walking Dead video game. And after he'd done these killings, he posted a video of him speaking to the camera saying, "I am the chosen one, chosen by Clementine. I am guided as Christians are guided by Jesus Christ."
Oh my God.
That is just madness.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
What he's done is he's likened his obvious madness to Christians.
Yeah.
Well, they're both kind of mad, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I mean, is this somebody that's been diagnosed? I mean,
no, he was only
kind
18.
of in your
He had,
wheelhouse, isn't it? It was kind of like
he was only 18.
schizophrenia or what?
He was just 18. He hadn't been diagnosed.
How did he get a gun?
Well, you can get a shotgun if in this country for killing rats and things.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, if you don't have a record banning you from purchasing them. But of course, it would be very different in America, where you'd only have to go to the local gun fair and buy a gun of any sort, including probably an assault rifle, without having to produce any identification at all.
Well, in certain states, that's allowable. Not in every state,
No.
But once you have the darn thing, you can go anywhere with it, right? So
yeah. Open carry.
Yeah.
I
mean, this guy just sounds. He sounds like all the ones who go into these schools and shoots up, the most innocent people, or goes to malls and just, it's just anarchy.
That's what he wanted to do. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What a nutter.
Well, only proves that there's no God, right? Wouldn't a loving God prevent murders like this?
Right.
Yeah, surely any God that's loving that I would worship,
right,
would definitely have done something to prevent that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And France, okay. It's this story is not about a gun. It's about a knife, which is that's the next layer down of assault weapon. So in the town of Mulhouse, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but the town mayor, Michel Lutz, said in a statement about a man who had attacked passers-by at the canal market. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Shouting Allahu Akbar, and he killed one civilian and injured 3 police officers. I'm sorry about the movement of the camera. It's just the cat decided to become the cameraman and push my computer at a different angle. Anyway, this guy is a 37-year-old from Algeria, and France's National Anti-Terror prosecutor is looking into the case, and the president, Emmanuel Macron, described the attack as an Islamic terrorist act, given the words. And the French Interior Minister, apologize for my pronunciation, Bruno Retailleau, said that the suspect had previously been convicted for apology of terrorism. That's the crime of speaking positively of a terror or group. And he would have been deported to Algeria, apparently, but Algeria refused to accept him.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what's happening in France.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like my good pirate friend said, religion is a mental illness for the most part.
Yeah, except Pastafarianism, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
And that's not even special pleading. That's just true.
Right.
So going back to the US here, Oklahoma. There's a governor of Oklahoma. He's what's his name? He's called Walters, Governor Walters, and he is very keen on getting Bibles into schools. And his latest attempt features using Bibles as a source of material, instructional material for other subjects like maths and English. So, yes, I know.
And science.
Yeah.
Right.
So he wants biblical.
Yeah.
He wants biblical examples to be used in the teaching of those non-religious subjects. So his conditions are, and this is in Oklahoma, you won't be surprised, but the state is taking bids from companies that can provide these supplemental instructional materials that effectively integrate the Bible and character education into elementary level social studies curriculum. Materials should be age-appropriate biblical content, should provide simple explanations that are easily understandable for elementary age students, and demonstrate how biblical figures and stories have influenced historical events and cultural practices in the United States.
That sounds more like an infiltration than an integration.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. He's proud, though. Governor Walters is proud. He's been bragging about how his standards mention the Bible and its historical impact over 40 times. And his goal, apparently, is to put the Bible and the historical impact of Christianity back in school.
Well,
like
what about
commandments on the doorways aren't enough, I guess.
Yeah. And are we going to allow Leviticus 24, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, an arm for an arm? He who does this shall, in fact, what about turning the cheek? I would, if it's Matthew, turn the other cheek and, accept your neighbor and love thy enemy. That's a good humanistic idea,
Yes.
but it's not going to be that.
No.
You got to set it against the flood, which was genocidal.
Right. And 6,000 years ago, so the earth is only 6,000 years old, right?
Yes. Ah, dear. This is not just Oklahoma, though.
Yeah.
Because in North Dakota, that's getting a bit up near your Canadian border, Fred.
Yep.
There's been a proposal put to the North Dakota Senate, which would have required the Department of Public Instruction to include the theory that holds that the universe was made by an intelligent being in state standards for elementary, middle school, and high school science classes. And Senator Terry Wanzek said the Senate Education Committee did not back the bill due to concerns that due to concerns that teaching intelligent design in school would be inadvertently promoting the idea that faith and science are opposed.
Well, you know, the revelation of Pastafarian
Go ahead,
came.
Dred.
Yes.
Oh,
well,
I think
I was going to say.
You're frozen.
Am I?
No, you're good.
Now go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say that, of course, this harkens back to the Kansas State School Board in 2005 when Bobby Henderson sat in and revealed Pastafarian as the true religion and said that it should be taught alongside intelligent design in their schools. And
absolutely. Yeah. So the bill's sponsor in North Dakota, a senator called Michael Dwyer, who's a Republican, he said if teachers can't teach intelligent design in the classroom, they shouldn't be allowed to teach evolution either. He pointed to the Declaration of Independence, which asserted that all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. If there's no creator, he says, where did those rights come from?
Oh my God.
Well, tell them to take a philosophy class and figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, this is 100 years after the Scopes monkey trial. You know, this is 30 years after Kitzmiller versus the Delaware Dover, the Dover School Board.
Yes.
This comes up all the time, and
that news has North Dakota yet.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, these two states that you mentioned, one of the remarkable things about them is that they have incredibly low populations.
Yeah.
You know, some of these states you can fit the entire population in one of the boroughs of the 5 boroughs of Manhattan. You know, they're very, very small.
Yeah.
And if you look at the statistics of where they are in terms of satisfactory education, quality of life, all of those different things, they're the lowest of the 50 states. So instead of trying to fix things like help people get better, let's just canoodle with the idea that, you know, the earth is 6,000 years old, and that will make everything better. And fortunately, you know, we have a lot of secular organizations in the United States that immediately fight back and put in lawsuits. You know, FFRF, AHA, American Atheists, Secular Coalition of America. They all have legal arms that are looking at this stuff all the time, and they're like a shock troop. They will file an injunction immediately, and that scares them enough to make them stop. Usually.
You'll be pleased to hear that the North Dakota Senate voted 25 to 22 against that proposal. So
what was that figure again?
25 to 22 against.
Right.
I'm afraid I've got a rather sad item now, but we've got some good news to come later, or good-ish news to come later. So the sad item is about an 8-year-old diabetic girl in Australia, Elizabeth Strews. She was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and her family was told she would need daily insulin injections. But her parents belonged to a religious sect known as the Saints, who opposed medical care, believing God would heal her. she died from diabetic ketoacidosis.
Ketoacidosis, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which causes a dangerous buildup of ketones and blood sugar spikes.
Yep.
And she would have had terrible symptoms.
Oh, yeah. It's
vomiting.
the buildup of carbon dioxide in the blood.
Yeah.
It's
vomiting, extreme lethargy, loss of consciousness.
Terrible way to die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's asphyxiation.
Yeah, that's right. But this has been going on for some years now, and the last time I reported on this, the culprits had been convicted, but the reason it's in the news today is because they've been sentenced. Okay,
good.
So the father, Jason Strews, and the mother, Elizabeth Strews, were convicted of manslaughter last month. And today, or in the last week, they have been jailed for 14 years for manslaughter. The leader of that cult has been jailed for 13 years by the judge at the Supreme Court of Queensland, and he called him a dangerous, highly manipulative individual. 11 other members of that cult have been given jail terms of 6 to 9 years.
Wow.
So maybe there is a God. There is justice anyway.
Yeah.
Apparently she was an intelligent child who suffered greatly in her final days.
Of course, yeah.
That's really sad.
You kind of passed over the Montreal University thing.
Yeah. Now, do you want to come in on that?
Well, I hadn't seen anything about it. I can say Tabernacle. That's about as much as I can say about it. But what about it?
Yeah. Okay. I haven't lost it. It's here in my crib sheet, and this is about. As you may be aware, in the recent past, there's been a lot of protests, pro-Palestinian protests in the Montreal universities. There's two of these universities. What's
McGill.
it called? Concord and McGill. And it's sort of died down a bit. The protests have died down a bit. But I'm trying to find the article here. No, I've lost it. I don't know where it's gone, but it's not completely gone away, and that's the only aspect of the story. It's still festering,
lingering.
Yeah. There's the students of Montreal universities are still up in arms about Palestine and the way that it's been treated, that the inhabitants have been treated. They've got a case because, of course, Gaza has been destroyed. But what they don't understand is the history here. And it's not a simple situation of the Israelis being the villains.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's what's lost on, certainly on this generation, is the appreciation of nuance. They just completely lost on people. It's either my way, or my tribe, or your tribe, or my team, or your team. And, everyone's split right down the frickin' middle these days. It's just, I don't know. It's really not good.
People want simplicity, and it's not available.
No, it's not. That's the biggest fact of life is that
Mm-hmm.
no
Yeah.
easy answers. You got to work for them.
Right.
Yeah, indeed.
Right.
So the second to last item is about the Pew Research Center Religious Landscape Study
Mm-hmm.
2024. And it was released on Wednesday. And apparently, American religious observance has been stabilizing after years of steady decline and growth of the religiously unaffiliated, which has leveled off,
Right.
which is not entirely good news. However, the senior associate director of research at Pew, a Gregory Smith, said the US is a spiritual place, a religious place, where we've seen signs of religious stabilization in the midst of longer term decline.
Mm-hmm.
I like the longer term decline bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could go on about this considerably because in our cause, our pastafarian cause, I think I mentioned I've had a second year UVic law student wrote his final paper on pastafarianism and what I've been trying to do here in British Columbia and in Canada overall, and talking about this very thing about unaffiliated religiosity, and that it's moving from a more the traditional centralized religions to sort of a loosely based decentralized loose affiliation essentially, and pastafarianism and dudism and all kinds of stuff that have cropped up as these loose organizations that don't have substantial funding, don't have tax credits on behalf of the government, aren't in any statutes as getting kind of relief or money for faith-based schools, stuff like that. And that's what we're going to be going to the Supreme Court of Canada about. I just talked to my lawyer yesterday, and we are proceeding to take this case to the Supreme Court of Canada. I'd love to get into this and give you a full rundown on what's going on because it's going to happen now. And,
wow,
we're
exciting.
We're preparing our case. We're preparing our case.
We look forward to having a report on that. Well done.
Well, I mean, like I say, if you want to go into some detail rather than a 5-minute thing, I've got a full hour for you.
Wow,
great! Yeah, love it.
If you write something about it, I can definitely help get you published.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got material.
It can be an article. It can be something bigger. I'd be happy to help you get published.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, wonderful.
Cool.
See, it's who you know.
Yeah. Well, David, perhaps post your email in the chat here, and then I've got a direct way to get a hold of you.
All right, sure. If I put it in the chat, does that mean that everybody can see it, or just?
Well, it's just John and
private.
Me. Yeah.
Private chat.
The private chat. Yeah. No. And like I say, perfect. Copy, and I got it.
Great.
Yeah. So this has been percolating for some time, right? And I think I might have mentioned to you, John, that I wrote up 22 theses, mirroring Martin Luther's 95 Theses in 1508. I've got 22 that I'm prepared to take once I'm on my days off here coming up in April, taking down to the legislature in Victoria, BC, and in some way posting it to the door with some fanfare, with some media coverage. I've already got a media person lined up who's willing to cover that. And
Yeah, great.
yeah, so this could be, the start of the new Pastafarian Reformation.
There you go.
I hope so. More power to your
More
elbow.
bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
In
finally,
pasta we trust.
In Guam we trust.
yes,
Right.
yes, indeed. Yeah. So finally, guys, I'm oh dear, I'm a bit disappointed that you've got to face this, David, but here it is.
We have to bring it back much stronger. It's one of the biggest problems that we've had over the last fairly long period of time. I really believe you can't be happy without religion, without that belief. I really believe it. I just don't see how you can be. So let's bring religion back. Let's bring God back into our lives. Thank you all very much.
He was speaking to a Christian Congress or something like that, wasn't he? Yeah,
By the reaction.
He was
Yeah.
just, it was talking points for his audience. It's not,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you see him during the inauguration, Ivanka or whatever's got the Bible there, and his hands are sitting down on his side, and he knows it, right?
Yeah.
He did not swear in the Bible that he was going to faithfully uphold the office of the president.
No.
Yeah.
This is a man, yeah. He's cheated on his wives. He's had kids out of wedlock. He's, told people hard, it just, where's this coming from? I mean, you can see the lack of enthusiasm. We really should be more religious. It's just the biggest joke. He was asked when he was running for office, what's his favorite a phrase or section of the Bible, and he goes, all of it.
All of it, yeah. What's your favorite book of the Bible? Oh, they're all good.
They're all good. It's all good. So he knows.
In other words, I don't know any of it. Yes.
What's your favorite commandment? All of them are good.
Yeah. Do not cover my neighbor's wife. Oh, sorry.
Well, on that note, guys, I think we've done this to death, haven't we? So thank you very much once again.
It's always good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you, David. That was great.
All right, let's keep in touch. Be well.
I will. I will send you an email right away.
Sounds good.
Great.
Yeah, expect it'll come from Dread Pirate Higgs. So
wonderful.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you, John. Be well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Whoa, we want to break free.